welcome to the Total Country Podcast.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for not being outside. I'm just going to melt through this. I think I've had to close a window because I live on a main road and I'm just sweating. But I've got like gin and orange, so it's fine. So, cheers. So we're here to hear your EP acoustically. Not Scared Anymore, which is out tomorrow. I'm so excited for you. You must be overjoyed.
I literally cannot wait. I mean, I've been working on this for probably like the last 9 months now, and I feel like I'm giving birth to something. Same amount of time frame, but it's like, I don't know. I've worked so hard on it, and I just can't wait for everyone to hear it. No matter obviously we're aiming for like the charts, but like I'm not too bothered at this point. I just want everyone to kind of hear it and love it. So
yeah, I'm in the privileged position that I've had it in my inbox for a couple of weeks. It's so good.
Thank you.
So good. It's very different, isn't it? I mean, we'll go into it a bit later, but it's quite a different sound for you in terms of the full production. But let's get going. Do you want to play something from your first record, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah. So I'm actually going to play you my new single, my debut single, I Lie. And this is called Find Me. And it's nearly been a year since it's been out, which is absolutely crazy. So this is To Find Me. 15 years old, trying to play it cool. Everyone just seemed to think that they were too cool for school. One moment, no, I knew I didn't want to say. Next moment, I'm locked up like it was just a game. I couldn't run, it wasn't my fault. They put things in my head, I couldn't tell if they were wrong. Waking up to 2 a.m., it gets hard sometimes. Going down the road again, it gets hard sometimes. Picked it up when it went wrong. Turned around, now sing my song. No one to find me, even if it gets hard sometimes. They used to laugh, I wouldn't say a word. You've not met me yet, it's not time to be heard. My wounds are still healed, I no longer hurt. Won't play your silly games, I'm not a little girl. I felt so scared, I couldn't say the word. Now I'm Miss Independent, and I know what I was. Waking up to 2 a.m., it gets hard sometimes. Going down the road again, it gets hard sometimes. Picked it up when it went wrong. Turned around, now sing my song. No hope to find me, even if it gets hard. Say goodbye, manipulation. You don't make my reputation. I've been playing with the fire in me. I don't need your pity parties. Can't you see that something's starting? I was broken, now I love what I see. Oh, waking up to 2 a.m. Going down the road again, it gets hard sometimes. Picked it up when it went wrong. Turned around, now sing my song. No one to find me, even if it gets hard. Say goodbye, manipulation. You don't make my reputation. I've been playing with the fire in me. I don't need your pity parties. Can't you see that something's starting? I was broken, now I love what I see, even if it gets hard sometimes.
Nice. Good choice. Good choice. So that's off EP number 1.
Yeah.
which, as you know from when you've kindly been on my podcast, I'm a big fan of. It's such a strong debut. Now, this release, as I said at the start, has such a different sound. Like the production is a lot fuller. It's more upbeat. Of course, it still has that important message, which I know is so important to your music. We're going to go song by song, but talk to me about the journey of this release and what's changed for you personally and musically to get to this record.
So much has changed in my life, like not even as a musician or as a person. Like I've changed so much in both aspects, and that's kind of what I wanted to show in this record, because obviously my debut record was so emotional and I was quite in a vulnerable place when I was writing all those songs. And I kind of wanted to show with this EP how much I've changed as an artist and how much I've developed as an artist, but also how I look on life now that I'm a lot further down the line than I was back then. And I want it to resemble people who have gone through the same things I have, or similar things, who have been hurt before, any of those kind of things, and just kind of see me as living proof and that I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared to live my life anymore, because you can't let it hold you back forever. And that's what I really wanted to get out. But I've changed so much as a musician. Like I've developed my songwriting, and obviously we wanted that to show in the production side of things. So it's a lot fuller. I think it's a lot more fun. Because I felt like every song on that debut EP had a lot of heart, and that kind of showed in the production, but I haven't actually like stemmed away from that and kind of gone into like the fun element of people just kind of letting their hair down and just having a good time. So that's kind of where I wanted to go with it. But we still got that one track that's slow and emotional, because I'm Kelsey, baby, I need something in there. So you know.
When I was listening to it earlier, I listened to them both back to back. You can really tell the difference in how you've matured. But in songwriting, especially, I think it's got a much more mature sound. So, what's your heart rate like at the moment? What you mentioned before we started, you're going through a whole range of emotions. Where are you? Is it anxious? Is it stress? Are you?
I'm more excited.
Talk to me.
I think.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm going to be nervous. Like, I'm a human, I guess, but I'm so excited for everything to just come out and just everyone can hear it, and it's everyone's Spotify and Apple Music and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just like can finally see it there in person. I'm like, wow, okay, that's me. Okay. I'm just so excited. Obviously, there's the nerves. Like, obviously, is it going to live up to things? Is it going to live up to my debut EP, etc.? But all the reviews I've had are so positive, and I've got such positive feedback from them. And I guess I'm just really excited now that there's a few people that like it, and I just obviously want everyone to love it, because I like my work, and I want everyone to like my work. So.
When you release your first EP, obviously more unknown. Now, especially over lockdown, you've really made a mark on the UK country scene, I think it's fair to say. Does that add any extra pressure or stress or any new emotions that perhaps the first record didn't bring you?
Yeah, there definitely is. I mean, when I was releasing my debut record, I didn't actually know what was going to happen. I didn't have any expectations of like the charts, didn't have any expectations of like the feedback I've received. And after that, I've been like, wow, okay, this is actually what can happen. And then obviously recently I've been doing all my live streams, and I've got a lot of support from that. And it's just like, right, okay, I need to not get in my head, because with Magnetic, I was quite in my head, and I was like, is it going to do as well as Define Me and all that kind of weird emotion?
Yeah.
A lot. It's not pressure from other people. It's always from myself. People don't pressure me. I don't really give in to peer pressure or anything like that. Yeah. It's more like I always take it in on myself, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay. But I calmed down right away as soon as I saw my name in the number 2 iTunes charts, But I mean,
yeah, that would do it.
It's like it's a waiting game. We'll say that.
Yeah. So when you went to record the tracks on this record, did you have a different approach, or were you more hands-on than first time at Puzzle Maker?
I know how they work now, which is always good. So I kind of know what to expect, and I know kind of where they're going to approach it from, but they hit the nail on the head with it all. I mean, they've crushed it with the production. They have everything that I ever wanted in it. And when I was in the studio and they were just like putting new bits in, I was just sat there like,
like, oh my gosh, like you're a wizard, you know. Those guys are so smart, and they know exactly what they want, and they know what makes things commercial. They know different elements that need to stand out. They just hear it and they're like, right, I know what to do, which is a skill that I'll never have. But they're just really great at their job. They're really great at their job, and I love working with those guys, and I'm excited to get back in and do more.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go with track 1 from the EP, which is Out of Our Minds, which is probably, if people haven't heard it, they're going to be surprised. I think on this one, this is this is the most commercial one on the whole record, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's get that one going, and then we'll have a chat afterwards. Over to you, Kelsey.
Met this boy inside a shop. He bought a regular Coke for his bottle tops. Had a white shirt with black skinny jeans. Going out with his mates, looks about 18. Had clean brown hair with ocean blue eyes. He's his mama's boy, but he rarely lies. Got his name, can we give it a try? Before he knew we were dancing into the night. Please tell me that no is not an option, 'cause I like where we're heading in a strong direction. Gravity's on my side. All the stars have aligned for this one night. We're young, we're crazy and out of our minds. Picked a spot by the apple tree. The sun sets better with you next to me. My butterflies are dancing to the sound of my heartbeat whenever you're around. Don't know how you could, but my past star breaks never felt so good. Hope spots not lying, I'm not lying. You're implying that you're trying. Please tell me that no is not an option, 'cause I like where we're heading in a strong direction. Gravity's on my side. All the stars have aligned for this one night. 'Cause we're young, we're crazy, and out of our minds. This is getting surreal with all these feelings to feel, but this love is taking over. Wish we could go back in time, stop the clocks and rewind to the night where the sun sets behind your eyes. Please tell me that love is not an option, 'cause I like where we're headed in a strong direction. Gravity's on my side. All the stars have aligned for this one night. 'Cause we're young, we're crazy and out of our minds. Please tell me that no is not an option, 'cause I like where we're headed in a strong direction. Gravity's on my side. All the stars have aligned for this one night. 'Cause we're young, we're crazy and out of our minds.
Nice.
Thank
Nice. I was singing that song actually in my head earlier. It's catchy. It's really catchy. We've got lots of love for you. So I don't know if you can see it, but I'll read some out. Rachel's super excited for tomorrow. Probably a vested interest there, but Rachel is Kelsey's manager. I've got Nathan, who I know is a massive fan of yours and has been doing a lot to support you on social media recently.
Very much. I really appreciate his help.
Yeah, what a guy. I've been tagged in a few things to help spread the word by him, certainly. DC Brown's here. I think they're fire symbols, but they're really bad. And Sarah, is that Mummy Bovey?
That's Mummy Bovey.
Oh. And Kaylee, who's a lady I know, she's put new fan here.
Hey, thank
Kaylee,
you.
She heard you on Chris Country this morning, actually. Yeah, she was up at that time.
So crazy.
Were you up for that?
Yeah, I set an alarm for that one because it's like I feel like that's such a big moment, like Chris Country especially. Yeah. It's crazy.
And I know, especially talking to Rachel, your manager, they've been incredibly supportive recently, haven't they?
Yeah. So they've played Magnetic. I was on their, I think it's like top 5 at 5 for 2 weeks now. I was on there for 2 weeks, and that blew my mind. I didn't even know that was even possible right now. But yeah, so obviously with all the support that they've showed me, Rachel sent an email saying, "Did you want the exclusive? Not scared anymore?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, wow, okay."
Is that still quite surreal for you? Obviously, because that's a big station for the UK.
I mean, coming from where I was before, like obviously like the whole Define Me stage, and I was like, like in my head, no one liked me at all, like barely anyone. I had like no friends at all, or it was just my family, and that was it. So like to see like that girl then and what it is now is like absolutely crazy. And like that's why I think the charts mean so much to me. It's not necessarily just to say like, oh, I got in the charts. It's more like it's more a personal thing to me. That's like I've actually gone and done that without letting anything affect me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about Out of Our Minds. As I say, I can't wait for people to hear it if they've not heard it. It's so different. It reminds me of Catherine McGrath, that kind of vibe, but then quite sort of straight up Nashville, sort of Kelsey Ballerini vibes. If we want to do comparisons, but
Kelsey.
Talk me through the story behind that song. Yeah,
so I was just thinking about like so many people I've heard of like met someone in the strangest of places, like whether it be like down the park or whether it be in like Asda or whether it be in like, I don't know, your friend's wedding or anything like that. There's always a weird story to how people meet, I always feel, and I kind of wanted to bring that to life, kind of make my own story out of it. So kind of use the experiences that I've had in like falling in love with all the like the emotions and stuff and bringing that in. But I also wanted to do, because obviously you've got like the Met's boy inside a shop, he's got a regular Coke for his bottle tops. Like I kind of, in the first one, I kind of wanted to say everything that person is and like why that makes them so unique and so special to that person. It's just like their little quirks that make you go ooh and ah, I guess. And then the second verse is kind of more about the future, and I kind of want to build on that. So like it doesn't have to be like a lifetime friend that you've known for ages that ends up becoming you will come together and then like create a future. So I kind of wanted to show that element of it. I wanted to kind of show like the spontaneity. I don't think that's a word, I completely made that up, but you know, the spontaneous element. Maybe that's the one. The spontaneous elements of meeting someone, and they're not always how they are in the fairy tales and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, that's a really well constructed song. How do you put records together? How do you kind of put your lyrics together then?
Most of the songs I write, I can never remember how I did it, if I'm being honest. Like because I'm like always in such a focused mood. I'm like, I can't break out of it, so I can never remember anything. But usually, I mean, I always do melody first. That's always my thing. I feel like I can connect more with melody. So I think I was just like thinking like, right, what would an average kind of 18-year-old love story be this day and age?
Yeah.
Because obviously you need to make it relatable for people, and probably people have gone through that kind of experience of like meeting someone in a strange place, whether that be a friend of a friend or someone behind the till, you know. You never know. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess I just wanted to show the spontaneous side of it and all that. So.
And let's talk about the production. This will be something where people hear it tomorrow and go, "Oh, okay." How involved are you in that? Is that the work of Danny and Andrea over there, or?
If I'm honest, because I've known those guys for so long, they kind of know what I'm after and know what I want, which is always good because we've been friends for so long. They know what music I like. They know what kind of elements of things I like, which is always good and really helpful. So, I mean, when I like something, I'll like speak up and be like, "Wow, that's like incredible." But like me being the shy girl that I am, I don't really talk about negative stuff. But the thing is, I trust them so much that I don't feel like I need to. Like if something sounds good, they're going to know about it probably before I do. You know, they've got such good ears and all that. So yeah, I mean, I was quite hands on with it. But like when Drea put all the like the bits at the start, look, you'll see what I mean when you hear it. And all the all those bits. I was like, right. Like this is like
I don't think that's on my version. So let's move on to track 2 on
Yeah.
the EP, which is Magnetic, which is getting some insanely good airplay.
Incredible.
And it done really well in the iTunes chart, didn't it? Straight away, number 2, bam.
I know. I was awake at like 2:00 and I saw it in there. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening to me right now? Yeah, it's crazy.
Over to you. Here we go. Magnetic.
Every time I think of you, those deep blue eyes and those pretty cool shoes, I lose sight of my center. I don't do what I'm meant to. Every time I see you smile, there's a part of me that's going wild to try to ask for directions, but I never get clear instructions. Just wanna know your name. Now that I know your name, you know that you're not usually my type, 'cause I always go for the wrong guy. The way you're talking to my soul is magnetic. I've been broken in pieces, there's a hole, can you heal it? Heart is beating double time, I don't get it. And this time I don't wanna regret it when you're on my mind. Every time that you let go, it's a memory from my dreams. I know that this might be scary, but I could see it again in a heartbeat. Every time that we're alone, the whole world stops and time's our own. I've waited for this for so long, stuck in a place you don't belong. Just wanna know your game. Now that I know your name, you know that you're not usually my type, 'cause I always go for the wrong guy. The way you're talking to my soul is magnetic. I've been broken in pieces, there's a hole, can you heal it? Heart is beating double time, I don't get it. And this time I don't wanna regret it when you're on my mind. Crying down the phone, felt so alone, saying all you wanted was someone like me. But I guess looking back, saying everything we had, it was everything I wanted to be. You're not usually my type, 'cause I always go for the wrong guy. The way you're talking to my soul is magnetic. You're not usually my type, 'cause I always go for the wrong guy. The way you're talking to my soul is magnetic. I've been broken in pieces, there's a hole, can you heal it? Heart is beating double time, I don't get it. And this time I don't wanna regret it when you're on my mind. On my mind. When you're on my mind. Thanks, guys.
Love it. Love it. Now, that song really has been such a hit for you, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you think that this would be the one that, you know, kind of took you to the next level, so to speak?
If I'm being completely honest, no. And I have a reason for that. So when we were recording the EP, we needed a 4th song. And that was it. I wrote this song 2 days before we went into the 4th song session for the recording. So this song would maybe not have been on the record. So I'm so glad it has, because obviously it wouldn't be where it is now at all. I just had a bunch of songs behind me and I was like, right, which ones do you want? And they were like really digging that one. And I was like, right, cool. Didn't have a mid-late when we recorded it either, because it was obviously so fresh. So so done that in the studio and here it is now. So
nice. So for those that don't know, what's the story behind that one?
So when I wrote this, I was thinking about all my past relationships and just kind of that honeymoon stage when you first get into the relationship and you're like, right, okay, I better not mess this up because I feel like this is real and this is the one. And then there's always that thing in the back of your mind sometimes after you've been hurt quite a lot saying that, right, they're going to hurt me like everyone else has. But I didn't want that to overshadow the positive elements, because getting in a relationship with someone new and someone you can truly trust and love is the whole best thing about it. And you shouldn't worry about like what other people have done to you, because if there's one person that makes you happy, then I guess that's all that matters. And that's kind of what I wanted to imply with that.
Yeah. So Rachel's just messaged me. You'll like this. She's put, Kevin, can you tell Kelsey that the EP is currently in the bestsellers pre-orders?
I didn't know. Why am I crying? This is so embarrassing. I didn't know that.
There we go. There it is. It's on the screen.
Why am I crying? It's so embarrassing.
See Rachel on the screen. That's amazing.
I didn't even know that. Okay, thank you, Rachel.
Rachel, you've made Kelsey cry. This is live.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time I've heard that news today. So.
That's amazing. So hopefully good things for tomorrow, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Good gosh.
On your... So off that, this is really badly. I was going to ask a quite serious question after that, but I'm going to anyway. So on your first EP, it's well documented the fact that you've mentioned it here, you did have some struggles and stuff at school, and it wasn't always the easiest for you. Does the success you've had, perhaps particularly with this song, make it feel like you've won, or like it's like two fingers up to the naysayers?
Yeah, I mean, when I was Define Me was a massive moment, because obviously that was my first release, and just to see how well it went was unbelievable. And obviously with the everything that's happened in the past, and then releasing a song about that actual experience and then people liking it, it's like, wow, okay, that experience was so worth it for that little bit of validation. But when Magnetic was released, I didn't actually think how big that would get, if I'm being completely honest. Like, for Country Hits and Chris Country to play, it was like mind-boggling for me. And it's definitely set this EP off right, and I'm genuinely so proud of it. Like, I don't say this often, because like I don't want to be a proud person, but I am proud of like everything that's happened in the past to kind of where I am now, and I feel like I'm an example of what you can do after all things like that have happened. And I just want to show that to other people, because it's not just me that's going through it and this kind of had the success that I've had, not necessarily just in music, but like, I don't know, if someone has achieving their dreams as a doctor, maybe something like that, just knowing that if you stick to what you're good at and stick to what you know you can do, then it will pay off. And I've learned that lesson now, and I'm glad I did.
I know when we spoke before, you find songwriting really quite cathartic, don't you? It's a good way of getting kind of your emotions and things out. Perhaps, I think you said to me before, better than you would actually in a conversation. Talk to me a bit about that, for those that might have not heard that before.
Yeah, so the first song I actually ever wrote was Lady in Red, that I thought was marketable for it to be released. So I wrote that song 2 days after I broke up with my ex-boyfriend. And in that moment, I realised how important that was for me. And that's kind of what not only changed me as an artist, but as a person. I'm like, right, because I'm going to be honest, because I feel like you should be. I've been to counselling before for all the bullying that's happened, and that there wasn't always a solution to what I was feeling. And that's the same with everything. But when I wrote that song, I was like, right, this is like my thing. Because obviously everyone's different with how they deal with things.
Yeah.
And songwriting was my thing. And that's the thing that actually helped me get through everything. And it's like when I sat down and wrote Define Me with Danny, Positivity with Danny, it's like I was crying my eyes out when I was writing it. But after that, I felt like I got over it so quickly. And I feel like it's like one of those things, like when you're just confiding in someone and then it just goes completely. The weight's lifted off your shoulders, and I feel like songwriting and releasing it is genuinely like confiding in a friend, and that's why I love it so much. Brilliant.
I think this is a perfect time to move on to track 3, which is Not Scared Anymore. What a transition. I'll leave this one over to you, then we'll chat again after.
Yeah, I've got to try not to cry for myself. Hey, can you not hear me? It's alright. The mirror's reflection is senseless. Don't think you have to change for those magazines. I know it seems everyone is against you, but keep your chin up and put your smile on repeat. Written in stone, you can build a home, especially for you knows what you've been through. So go and take on the world, 'cause you're one brave girl. Show them the best of you, the rest of you something new. You will make sense someday. So don't keep hiding away. Pick yourself up off the bedroom floor. Look yourself in the eye. See, I'm not scared anymore. No, it doesn't make sense. You don't know what's the truth. I know it seems wrong. I know you'll ask why, but have faith in yourself. All you can do is try. No, it's easy to say, but don't give it away, 'cause the best things come to those who wait. Don't live up to your own expectations, 'cause that can hurt you. It can be dangerous. Show me who I know you can be. Take one step, please don't fret, no regrets. Pick yourself up off the bedroom floor. Look yourself in the eye. Say, I'm not scared anymore. No, it doesn't make sense. You don't know what's the truth. I know it seems wrong. I know you'll ask why, but have faith in yourself. All you can do is try. No, it's easy to say, but don't give it away, 'cause the best things come to those who wait. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. 'Cause the best things come to those who wait.
That one's done me.
Thank you. It's
So
on me as well, honestly.
we did have an audio issue for a moment, but I mean,
Right.
it was like a minute. It balanced itself back out. We heard it. Lots of love for that one. Kaylee said she's loving that one. That's such
Thank you.
a beautiful,
Thank
such
you.
a beautiful song. I love the sentiment and message on that one because it's just so pure and so lovely. And it's a classic, like, you've got a friend of me type story, isn't it? Talk to me. Explain the story behind that one.
Yeah, so it comes from many different places. So Danny actually came to me with the first section of the verse. And he was like, I think this is like a song for you. Like, no, because he knows what I've been through, and he was like the one who helped me like so much through everything. He was like, this is a song for you, and I think this is a song that you should release to help other people going through similar things. So he wrote this song, and we kind of like split it together. So obviously I did some bits, he did some bits, but obviously that's the way co-writing works sometimes. But yeah, it came from obviously my personal experiences. I wanted it to be authentic, And obviously there's no better way to be authentic than to talk about yourself and your personal experiences, because you know that's 1,000% truthful, and like what happened to you happening to someone else. But also my friend was going through a hard time at the time, and I kind of wanted to put that element of friendship in there for her, and I really wanted to push that as far as I could, really, because I know there's probably people out there, not necessarily like just the people who are going through a hard time, but there's always that friend that's obviously like, because I feel like sometimes it does take a toll on the friend as well when your friends go through a hard time. We're friends so many times right now, but so it does take a toll on the person who's trying to not look after you, but just like make sure you're all right, because I mean, you as a friend, you kind of want to stop everything that's bad that's happening to them because they don't deserve it, you know. I guess that's kind of where it came from. So yeah, I guess it came from a few different places. So,
and a really lovely full mature sound on the record as well for this one.
I'm so in love with the production on this song. They did an amazing job. Very Taylor Swift vibes, I feel, which I'm not mad about at all. Absolutely love her stuff. And everyone that came in, because we had session musicians come in when we were doing the recording, everyone just nailed the vibe of that song. They just like really got into it, and like it was like when it all came together, I was like sobbing. I was like, is this actually like my song? You know, when you come so proud of something, you're like, right, I actually did that. Like, oh my gosh, I never thought that would ever happen. But so it all came together. I was like completely in love with it, and I was like, wow, because I mean, I wanted that to be the title track of it, because I feel like not only does it express like the growth I've had, but it's also kind of like it shows that people shouldn't be scared anymore of things. They shouldn't let things hold them back, because there's not a way to live your life. And I lived it for about a year, and I had enough of it, you know. So, and
I feel like
you go.
It's almost full circle from some of the stuff on the first. It's like the growth is there, isn't it? It's there to see how you've grown and overcome adversities and things.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily just about the songwriting. I feel like it's kind of like everything, even like for the production, the songwriting, the meaning, even like the way I sing it, I guess. It all just kind of shows the growth it's had, and it's just like I don't really have any words for any of this, because I'm like so mind blown by what Rachel said. It's just kind of really sticking in my brain. But
Rachel.
Rachel.
So when you had all the tracks recorded, was it tricky deciding which order they go in? Is that something you look at all, or do you just see them as a whole body?
This one was so much easier, and it's more of a theoretical reason why. So when we were designing the single, Out of Our Minds was another contender for the single, because the production was so like out there and like very the vibe I liked. Yeah. But obviously we wanted the most commercial thing, and I've been banging about on Magnetic for ages, so I guess it finally got its time. But so that's why we picked Out of Our Minds first, because I feel like it really sets it off from the get-go. Like when you hear the first little bit of that song, the first second is like, wow, okay, I'm in it now. Like this is already fun, you know. And not scared anymore. Obviously the title track, as I said. And Hold Tight, Sit Still, I'm in love with the end of that song. I'm not gonna lie, like that's like I feel like it's like such a good vibe to end on, because it just really drives at the end. It's like you know. Anyway, So also in terms of the actual order of the songs, I'm gonna not try and go really theory, but like the Out of Our Minds and Not Scared Anymore in the same key, Magnetic and Hold Tight are in the same key. So we wanted to separate that out. So obviously you're not kind of not thinking you're listening to the same song, but like kind of split it up a bit. And obviously, as 3 tracks are upbeat and one is slow, then we wanted to get that one in the middle. So obviously it can kind of end on a high and start on a high. So I guess that's the way we looked at it, because we'll go with that.
Journey, yeah. So you released the EP it was kind of a lockdown situation. Did you ever have discussions or consider delaying it, or did you just want to get it out there?
No, so it was really weird actually. The final day of recording was the Saturday before the Monday of lockdown. So 2 days before lockdown started, we finished it completely. So I was so grateful for that. I was like, okay, I don't have to panic anymore. Obviously, we didn't know we were going to lock down on Monday, but like we heard that there was like rumors going around, right? We'd rather get this done now and finish it. And I was so glad we did. Because obviously it wouldn't be like where it is right now. And obviously it wouldn't be tomorrow. So, you know, and obviously because I've been waiting like long enough anyway, I just really wanted to get out and show everyone what has been done. Because in my live streams, I've been playing these songs for as long as like probably about the same amount of time it's been in the studio as well. And obviously those songs that I've been playing in my live set is like you always want to get them out and be released so people can just know the words and sing along and love it as much as you do, I guess. So yeah, just nice to get things out.
So we're going to have a little chat after this one, but let's move on to the final track. So it's Hold Tight, Sit Still.
Yeah, hold tight. I'm not funny. Anyway, here we go.
You got me twisted. I don't know what's right or wrong. You made me non-existent. I could tell I wasn't the only one. I could see inside your head when you said she's just your friend. I wish you were better. I wish we could forget her. And on the outside, I can tell you're just a pretty face. And now I'm sat here on cloud nine, watching you. Wish you could erase the mistakes that you made. You rewinded and replayed. You wish you were better, but you wish you never. Hold tight, sit still. This is how it's gonna be. I'll make you feel all the hurt you gave to me. You broke it down, feeling sad, and I'm the best you ever had. Hold tight, sit still. This is how it's gonna be. I see you breaking, sat there begging on your knees. It was the wrong game you were playing. Had to snap you into reality. That's as clear now I can see. Abuse responsibility. Wish you were better. You buried your treasure. Never no affection. I was quick to notice your recline. You ruined your reputation. It wasn't good enough. You were satisfied. Well, me, myself, and I are doing great things. We are fine. You wish you were better, but you wish you never. Hold tight, sit still. This is how it's gonna be. I'll make you feel all the hurt you gave to me. You broke it down, feeling sad, and I'm the best you ever had. Hold tight, sit still. I shouldn't have to fight for the right to stay with you all night. You mess with me, boy, move on, get on your feet. Go out and put your girl on display. That's how y'all should behave. The secret's out, go pass it on. Hold tight, sit still. This is how it's gonna be. I'll make you feel all the hurt you gave to me. You broke it down, feeling sad, and I'm the best you ever had. Hold tight, sit still. This is how it's gonna be. Hold tight, sit still. This is how it's gonna be. I'll make you feel all the hurt you gave to me. You broke it down, feeling sad, and I'm the best you ever had. Hold tight, sit still. This is how it's gonna be.
Nice. Love that. So the final track on the EP there, correct me if I'm wrong, is that a bit like a here's what you could have won type?
In a way, yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of says it in the line, was it broken down, feeling sad, and I'm the best you ever had. In a relationship, I always feel like I'm not going to say the kind one. That's not really what I mean. I mean, like I'm the loyal one. I'm always the one who gets heartbroken. So I kind of wanted to flip it on his head a little bit and kind of be like, well, I'm not going to be all nice and innocent if people keep walking all over me, you know. So I guess in a way that's kind of what that song says. And it's the reason I wrote it was more because if they were to get into a relationship again, I don't want them to do the same as they did to me, because that was not cool. And, you know, waterworks, you know. So no one should have to go through heartbreak, I don't think. Obviously, some things end for a reason, you know, totally get that. But just just the way things end is so important.
Yeah.
Nice.
So let's start wrapping things up. Will you wait up to see the EP on iTunes or Spotify or whatever? Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I did it with Magnetic and I was up to like 2 a.m. But the thing is, I won't sleep anyway, even if I wanted to, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's release time, but yeah.
And then will you spend all the time just flipping through, looking at comments? Or are you just going to let it do its thing and come back to it later?
I'll have a look, but I'm really nervous, but like I'm also really excited. So I guess it's a wave of emotions, but it's good. I'm cool.
There'll be people at literally like just after midnight giving you feedback and stuff. I mean, It would be hard not to look.
Yeah.
So, where do you have any expectations for it, or are you not getting involved in any of that?
I'm trying really hard not to let it sit in my head, but obviously with the Magnetic success, there's always going to be that thing in the back of my mind. Is like, right, okay.
Yeah.
When Rachel said that, because this isn't me trying to be all princessy, but it's like when I was looking at it and like how many people I think have pre-ordered it, I was like, right, okay. I don't think it's going to go as well as Magnetic has, but that's okay. Like, I mean, obviously it's going to fluctuate. Yeah. Things are going to happen, But then when Rachel said that, that's why I started crying. I was like, right, okay, this is actually like real now. But yeah, I've been checking the charts all week, like as I'm like sad, but I don't know. I probably shouldn't be like getting too into it because it's probably not good. But anyway, Everyone's saying number one. I'm like, oh gosh, okay. But I don't want to jinx anything or say anything, because obviously anything could happen. Like someone could release an EP or an album, like, and not tell anyone, So
yeah. So if people haven't pre-saved or pre-bought the EP yet, that massively helps with like chart standing and stuff, things like that, doesn't it? So where's best if people want to kind of contribute to the success? Where's best for them to
pre-order on iTunes is the one to do, mainly because obviously the 99p element of it, which is really, really helpful. And also I think it's like something like 10 paid streams on Spotify, Apple Music through a subscription is like one sale.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. So obviously if you buy it, then it will kind of automatically go to the iTunes store and like help with the charts, because obviously iTunes on pre-order. So that will help the most if anyone wants to go out and pre-order. I'd really appreciate that.
Off you go. So tomorrow you've got a few things you're doing. So you've got the lyric video for I'm Not Scared Anymore. That's going on to the Bales and Gals website, which I'm always massively keen to support them, because Nick and that are great. That's a great team. That's at 6:30 it's on the website tomorrow, isn't it? 6:30. And then and then you're back with me at 7:20 tomorrow. So
hi again.
Literally like 24 hours later.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a Save Our Venues virtual festival, which is 5 hours, which seems like a good idea when I started it. I'm going to be literally sitting here for the whole thing. So I might just be a tipsy mess by the end, but we'll see. But you'll be fine because you're at 7:20. So it'd be really cool because I'll get to see you excited.
And
it's going to do well, isn't it?
The release.
Yeah, everyone have heard it, which is really cool. And I think you've got Harriet Rose before you and Alan Finlan after you. So it's pretty good sandwich there.
Yeah,
so do come check that out. Is there anything you want to say to your fans finally? I feel like this is maybe one of the last chances you'll get to speak to them before you just get overwhelmed with emotion.
I already am.
Is there anything you want to say?
Right. Wow. I'm going to try not to cry because I'm such an emotional wreck. I just want to thank every single person who has gone out and pre-ordered it, who has streamed my music on Spotify, who has followed me on social media, gave one of my posts a like, every little helps, as Tesco says, But just all the support. And I do want to give a massive shout out to Rachel, Danny and Andrea, because obviously without you, none of this would have happened and I wouldn't be sat here crying because of my release. So I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys. None of this would have been possible without you. And just thank you for believing in me. And that goes to everyone else as well. Thank you for showing your support and believing in me and getting me to where I am today. And I did it without crying. Good, Kelsey.
Kelsey, stop. You're going to get me going. Have you got something you want to play, just to play out on? Have you got something in the bag?
Ooh, I do, but it depends which ones you want.
Does anyone want to pick? First person?
Yeah, I might do that again.
First person to play a song.
I love doing that. I just like seeing what everyone likes.
First person to play a song is the one Kelsey will play. Watch no one say anything. I'll start wrapping up while we do that. Thanks so much for watching, Kelsey. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
It was lovely to have you on the podcast, and it's been lovely to actually see your face this time.
No.
all the success. I'm sure you don't need it. It sounds like it's doing amazing. No one said any.
Lady in Red.
Lady in Red.
I got that.
Lady in Red. Perfect. Right, I will let you close this out. Kelsey, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Right. So, guys, I'll be back tomorrow at 7:20. So come along and say hi, and I guess we'll find out what happens. But yeah, I'm excited for you guys to hear it, and I'm going to stop crying. This is Lady in Red.
You took me to the dance floor. You blew my heart away. Started feeling like I was flying. You were trying, no, believe me, it was crazy. So you started becoming lazy with your love, with your time. And now I know that you never were mine. Then I realized you were running after more girls than just me. Yeah. I wish you were simple. I wish you cared. And unlike the guys that chase the lady in red, I wish you were easy. I wish you cared. And unlike the guys that chase the lady in red, I guess I fell for your pretty eyes. Didn't think about the other guys. Thought it made you feel like you were flying. I guess you weren't trying. Believe me, it was crazy. So you started becoming lazy with your love, with your time. And now I know that you never were mine. Then I realized you were running after more girls than just me. Yeah. I wish you were simple. I wish you cared. And unlike the guys that chase the lady in red, I wish you were easy. I wish you cared. And unlike the guys that chase the lady in red, where do we go from here? Oh, in your head it didn't matter. I just disappeared. I wish you were simple. I wish you cared. And unlike the guys that chase the lady in red, I wish you were easy. I wish you cared. And unlike the guys that chase the lady in red, I wish you were simple. I wish you cared. And unlike the guys that chase the lady in red, I wish you were easy. I wish you cared. And unlike the guys that chase the lady in red.
Thank you, guys. I just want to shout out Nathan for all the promotion and support he's done on this record. You've done an absolutely incredible job, and just want to thank you again. But thank you every single one of you who came and watched. Thank you every single one of you who pre-ordered, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow over on this page, and you'll kind of see what happens and what happened. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys.